A lot of people start their weight loss journey, and for a lot of reasons, they don't end up following through. And it's not for a lack of trying. I know a lot of people who try really hard. But if you don't know exactly where to place your effort, it's gonna be very hard to stick with the process because you're not gonna see results. And nothing discourages people faster than lack of results. Calorie counting, for example, has been shown to have a 99% failure rate, meaning you might lose weight at the beginning, but your body is an adaptation machine. You'll eventually hit the dreaded weight loss plateau when you do this, and you can really only cut so many calories. Your metabolism slows down as a byproduct, and you start putting back all the weight you've lost and then some. And then you're back to square one, except you're more frustrated than ever. Sound familiar? Now, this might sound like a contradicting statement, but bear with me. Losing weight is hard, but it can also be easy. Both will require work. Which path would you rather take? It's hard because there's so much bad information out there. There's definitely more bad than good. But it's easy when you have the right information. But just because you have the right information doesn't mean that people will actually follow through with it. Again, that's what makes it hard. Adherence is everything. But if you approach it the right way, and I always like to come from different angles when it comes to this, then it becomes easy. You just need to give it some time. In this video, I'm gonna give you my top 10 tips wherever you are in your weight loss journey to achieve real, sustainable results. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my students, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. Okay, here's a very important concept you need to understand about weight loss. And I love saying this as much as I can. It's literally one of my favorite things to say. When I die, I want my tombstone to say this. There are levels to this. The higher you get, the better. And we're gonna start with one of the most damaging things that's kind of become the norm in society. Snacking. You need to stop snacking. If you want any chance at achieving long-term, sustainable results, you need to stop doing this unbelievably destructive behavior. Again, there are levels. We simply did not evolve to eat 6 meals a day. Our Paleolithic ancestors would sometimes go a full day or multiple days without eating, and they were fine. They would have considered us gluttons if they found out that the norm these days was eating 6 meals a day. We also have an obesity epidemic. Go figure. We're told to eat in order to lose weight. That is the world's greatest oxymoron. There is no science behind it. So stop, because A, we don't really snack on the healthiest stuff. I don't really know when this became the norm, but we mostly snack on processed bars like granola bars and protein bars, which are basically just glorified Snickers bars. That's not real food. They're food-like products, or as I like to call them, Frankenfoods. And B, even if you snack on healthier options like fruit, and I always get a reaction from this in the comments, but if you snack on fruit, it's still not the best option, not even close, because the sugar in fruit, called fructose, is the most lipogenic type of sugar. Lipogenic means fattening. Think of fruit as nature's version of candy. Is it better than eating protein bars? Sure. Is it optimal? Not even close. Other than seasonal berries and avocado, I would consider fruit more as a treat, not part of a healthy daily diet. And here's my last point about this. I love food just as much as the next guy. I really do. But your entire life shouldn't revolve around it. There are so many other things you can do rather than stuffing your face every time you're bored. And that's what we've come to. We use food as a form of entertainment. Why don't you go for a walk instead if you're bored, or I don't know, read a book? And if you feel triggered by that, good. That's the point. I'm not here to make people feel good. I'm here to make a difference. Number 2, purge your house. I don't know about you, but I have zero control when it comes to treats. If you bring me a dozen cookies, come back the next day, they'll be gone. I will go full cookie monster on it. And this is kind of connected to tip number 1 in that don't even put yourself in a position where you're tempted to go back to your old habits. It's just not productive. Like, if you have bad food in your house, guess what you're gonna eat if you're having one of those really bad days? That's like having a recovering alcoholic stock alcohol in the fridge. Just, you know, for special occasions. How do you think that's gonna go? So don't even do it. Like, you need to put yourself in the best position possible to succeed. And it starts by controlling your environment. Number 3, learn to read labels. Here's a perfect example for you. I have 2 things here. To the naked eye, they're virtually the same. This one I think is a couple of bucks more. But this one, if you look at the back, it has beef, water, toasted wheat crumb, soy protein, salt, lemon powder, spice extracts, and garlic powder. This one has 1 ingredient: beef. Which one do you think is the better option? The same thing applies to fake meat or plant-based substitutes. Beyond Burger or Beyond Meat, for example, has 18 ingredients and it's been processed to the nth degree. Compare that to a burger patty, which again only has 1 ingredient. And that's my biggest beef, pun intended, to people pushing this plant-based agenda, and they don't want to harm animals. That's their prerogative and it's commendable, really. But if it steers you to eating these fake foods that will negatively impact your health in the long run, is it really worth it? Plus, meat from regenerative sources is actually carbon negative, meaning it helps the environment. Nose-to-tail meat is also some of the most bioavailable and nutrient-dense foods on the planet. Beyond Meat, yeah, that's no good for the environment. You would have to eat a grass-fed and grass-finished burger patty to offset the carbon footprint of an Impossible burger patty, for example. That is a fact. Look it up. Number 4, cut the cord. This just comes with the territory of change. Some people will unfortunately not agree with your decision to change your life. Some people will even get left behind because you're moving on from the old version of yourself. These people think that life is a zero-sum total, which means that if you're getting ahead, that means that you're taking away from them. And this is that infamous crabs in a bucket mentality. You never have to put a lid on a bucket of crabs because they're always gonna wanna pull each other down. And you're gonna have people like that in your life when you're trying to change for the better. The best way to deal with it, honestly, is to just cut the cord. If your friends make you feel bad for ordering a salad instead of pizza, if people judge you for going home early so you can wake up early the next day to go to your workout, then you need new friends. You need better friends that align with your new goals. Don't let the opinion of other people get in the way of your health. And this is what I tell all my students. Never take advice or the opinion of someone you wouldn't trade places with. You will never be criticized by someone doing more than you. You will only be criticized by someone who's doing less. Number 5, slow and steady, baby. This is a common trap for a lot of people. They have the right intention, but the wrong execution. They go from 0 to 100 when they're trying to change, which usually leads to burnout pretty fast. Again, there are levels. I love analogies, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Here's another one for you. You are not a light switch. You're more like a radio knob. What I mean by that is you can't just flip a switch when you're trying to change. It's really hard to go from eating complete trash to becoming a model of health overnight. It usually doesn't work like that. I mean, you can try it, obviously, but usually if you're at a 10, you need to focus on going to a 9. And then an 8, and then a 7, and so on. Let's use intermittent fasting, for example. And I'm not gonna discourage people from doing this because it's still better than eating junk. But I always see this in the comments is that they go for the jugular. They go 1 meal a day right away when their current eating pattern is 6 meals a day. When you do that, your body is going to freak out, guaranteed. You're gonna feel like crap because it's too much. It's too big of a change. That's like level 99 of intermittent fasting. It's basically the equivalent of signing up for a marathon when you haven't worked out since gym class in high school. How do you think that's gonna go? How about you just focus again on step number 1, which is to just cut out snacks. Reduce your number of meals to 5, and then a 4, then go down to 3 like a normal human being. And then that is the only time that I want you to think about intermittent fasting. But for intermittent fasting to work, the prerequisite is that you need to be metabolically flexible, which is the next tip. There are many different diets that you can do to improve your metabolic health. But whatever diet you end up following needs to abide by these guidelines. I want you to revolve your diet around the highest quality plants and animal products you can afford. And then for your meals, I want you to focus on eating single ingredient, mostly unprocessed, nutrient-dense foods, and make sure you're eating a diet that moderates your insulin levels. Insulin, if you didn't know, is the hormone that controls your body weight, so it's important to keep it moderated at all times. If you do that, then you achieve metabolic flexibility. Metabolic flexibility is when your body is easily able to tap into your fat stores and burn it for energy in between meals. You will almost never feel hungry when you do this. It's basically the holy grail of weight loss. Going back to all the misinformation out there, I see a lot of experts tell people that it's okay to eat Pop-Tarts every day as long as it fits your macros. And as long as you're on a calorie deficit, you're good. Nonsense. Again, that is the infamous calorie counting method. And yes, it might work at the beginning, but again, your body is an adaptation machine. And whatever result you get from this crash diet won't be sustainable long term. Number 7, be patient. I can't believe I lasted this long without mentioning this. This could have been tip number 1 because it's so important. And this is kind of the mental aspect of weight loss that rarely ever gets talked about. But I like talking about it because you need to have the right and realistic expectations about this. Listen to me. It did not take you days or weeks to put on the weight that you're trying to lose. It probably took you months, if not years, right? So it would be completely unfair to expect all that weight to come off in a matter of days or weeks. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you can wrap your head around the idea that this is going to take some time, but as long as you're following the right plan, which again is achieving metabolic flexibility, you're gonna get there eventually. Let's do some simple math here because I'm a numbers guy and numbers don't lie. A 1 to 2 pound weight loss every week is very achievable if you're following the right plan. I've seen people lose way more than that, but let's just set that as the bare minimum. Like, there's nothing exciting about 2 pounds per week, but if we do some simple math, a 2 pound weight loss every week is 52 pounds in 6 months. That is life-changing. Here's one of my students who lost half of that. She only lost 25 pounds in 6 months. So that's basically a pound a week, and she's a completely different person after 6 months. That's not a very long time in the grand scheme of things. Do you know what I mean? And if you want a proven step-by-step plan on how to do this properly, then I'm gonna link to one of my programs somewhere at the top here. Number 8, don't fall for shortcuts. This is directly connected to my previous point in that when people aren't patient, that's when they tend to fall for these shortcuts or gimmicks. They want to have their cake and eat it too. And that's when people fall for the low fat / 0 calorie myth. That's when people drink diet soda or they eat low calorie ice cream and other highly processed low fat versions of foods. And it's the same idea with putting artificial sweeteners on literally everything. And there are two main reasons why this is bad. A, it leads to overconsumption. People see 0 calories, so they just drink it every day like water. Same thing with eating low-calorie ice cream like Halo Top. The If It Fits Your Macros crowd, or IIFYM, sees this, and this is the dream. It's low in calories, it fits their macros, so they eat it like basically every day. Listen, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Nothing that sweet gets a free pass once it enters your system. And B, artificial sweeteners and drinking diet soda is often linked to weight gain instead of weight loss because it destroys your gut microbiome and your brain gets confused because it's getting the taste of something sweet but there's no actual food coming in. Notice how you're always hungrier and you crave more food after drinking a can of diet soda? And I talk more about the science behind this in this video, so make sure you check it out. Number 9, take a break from eating. Are you sick of me giving this tip? Good. That's the point. And I will keep pushing it until I've changed millions of lives. Going back to levels. First, you delete snacks. Then you focus on achieving metabolic flexibility when it comes to your diet. Once you achieve that, that is the only time that you should even think about fasting because your body will respond to it better. Here's a fun fact for you. The longest recorded fast was 382 days, which is over a year, by a guy named Angus Barbieri. He lived off of tea, coffee, soda water, and vitamins with regular visits to the doctor. He also lost a mind-blowing 276 pounds. So believe me when I say that you're not gonna die if you skipped a meal here and there. Fasting actually heals the body. You can do it. I believe in you. And I'm not even asking you to go 382 days here. How about we start with 382 minutes after you wake up? That's just over 6 hours. That's doable, right? And I talk extensively about intermittent fasting on my channel, so make sure you check out all my other videos about it. Number 10, allow for life to happen. This is what ties everything together. I don't want you to get so caught up when it comes to achieving your weight loss goals that you miss out on special moments in life that you'll never be able to get back. What I mean by that is we are social beings, so there's a time to feast and there's a time to fast. I don't want you to go all in on one side of the equation that you forget about the other side of it. That is called life. And when we celebrate, we usually do it around food. That's why I'm a big fan of scheduling an optional cheat meal every week. That way you don't feel bad about these little indulgences. It's just food at the end of the day. You're always one good meal away from being back on track when you do this. And a lot of experts out there want you to swear off on your favorite treats completely. And honestly, they're not wrong. I don't disagree with them. But like I said, I also don't want to live my life feeling deprived. That's just not how I roll. I want to be able to enjoy myself every once in a while because I love cheesecake. Now, is this process going to be a little bit slower when it comes to getting results? Maybe, but the results you end up getting are going to be so much more permanent because you're able to adhere to this lifestyle long term. At the end of the day, isn't that what everyone wants? They want to be able to move towards their weight loss goals while still being able to enjoy a treat every once in a while. That's a great setup if you ask me. Listen, once upon a time, I was in your shoes. I was confused. I didn't know what to do. But if you follow all of the tips that I gave you in this video and learn from all my mistakes, you're going to be okay. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. All right, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Virtual high five.